So I've been training jiu-jitsu for about 9 years, and tonight I was the only girl at class, and it reminded me of when I was first starting out and I was always the only girl, and how stressed and anxious I was and how nervous I was. To try to give you some tips on how to train if you're one of the only girls or there's just not a lot of other female training partners. So the first tip is do not roll with everyone who asks you, and don't feel like you're obligated to roll with everyone who asks you. You are there for your training, and you are there to protect your own safety and to make sure that you're having a good time and learning and not getting injured. So I'm just saying no thank you, or have a couple things in your head like, oh no, I'm gonna rest this one, or I'm just rolling with smaller people today, or anything to just say, or you can just say no, like no thank you. Also, I would take, if you don't know anyone, take the first round or two and honestly observe the room and watch people training. Start with looking at the smaller guys, but don't limit it to just the smaller guys. Try to focus more on how people are rolling. Obviously, you're going to be watching people who are rolling hard. It's not always going to be a perfect gauge, but keep an eye out for guys who seem pretty relaxed, who seem like they're kind of flowing, moving well. They're not super overly tensed or super overly aggressive in any kind of way. It can be hard in Nogi if you don't know people's ranks. So you're trying to get a feel of people at like purple, brown, black belt level, guys like that, because those are going to be guys who probably have more experience training with girls than a white or a blue belt. Watch guys who like rip submissions, because no one should ever be ripping submissions with a no positional control anyway, even if you're having hard rounds. So watch out for just like overly aggressive types of training, and look at guys who just look like they're training really well. They have everything in control, but they're not being overly aggressive. If there's any teenage boys on the mat, those tend to be really good rounds. They can be a little bit dangerous if they're like getting their man strength, but those tend to be rounds where, yeah, they're pretty strong, but you can go really hard, and they tend to be down to go really hard. And so I think a lot of my best training partners have been, especially when I was coming up, like the teens. And if all else fails and you're still feeling nervous, there's no shame in going up to your instructor, your teacher, whatever it may be, and just being like, hey, I'm a little bit nervous to ask people to roll. Do you have any recommendations for who I should roll with, or do you think you can help me partner up with somebody? And they're usually super happy to do that and super understanding. I have been training a while. I've trained with all types of people in all types of gyms, from gyms where there's no girls to gyms where there's tons of girls, like my gym now. So if you have any other questions or there's any other tips that you'd like to hear about training in those types of situations, just comment below and I will try to make a video on it.